An MSNBC analyst was fired because he accurately reported the fact that Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit. The media is so captured by the right wing that it is the entirety of right wing media was dancing over the corpses of the Minnesota legislator who was killed and his wife. And even at MSNBC, this is all it takes. Dowd said the slain activist's words may have fueled the violence that claimed his life, sparking backlash. Literally, all he said is that this unrepentant, hate-mongering piece of shit who delighted in propagating violence on others and encouraging it might have contributed to the political culture that led to his own death. This is factually correct. This guy was the chief strategist for the Bush-Cheney 2004 presidential campaign, by the way. Jesus, how far the Overton window has shifted to the right. Did Israel do this to help Cuomo defeat Saran? That's the only possible explanation. I agree completely. Yes. He even apologized. My thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of Charlie Kirk. On an earlier episode of MSNBC, I was asked a question on the environment we're in. I apologize for my tone and words. Super cucked. Vosh, the Minnesota legislator, was the woman, not the man. Oh, okay, sorry, my apologies. I just heard, I thought in my head politician. I assumed it had to be a man because of, the rationality thing and stuff. Jesus Christ. MSNBC's president, Rebecca Cutler, described Dowd's comments as, quote, inappropriate, insensitive, and unacceptable in a statement posted to social media.
We need the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this. But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in. That
he got fired for this. He got fired for this. Go look at anything Jesse Waters has said any time in the past, decade, and remember, he's kept his job. He's wealthy. This guy got fired. MSNBC is supposed to be like the left-wing Fox News.
People you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Jesus Christ. Republican pundits call for civil war and mass Democrat lynchings every time an old racist serial mascot updates their public image to be less of a caricature. And meanwhile, you can't even say, hey, I think that maybe the unrepentant violence and hate mongers might have contributed a bit to the hatred and violence without getting fired. Insane, man. How is that even a political statement? He legit just described a cause and effect without judgment. Dude, Trump didn't even attend the funerals for the Minnesota legislators. He said it'd be a waste of time to even call to ask about them. No flags at half-mast. It's like eye-watering, the hypocrisy. I'm not a big hypocrisy poster because I don't really think you can own a fascist on hypocrisy. They know they're lying and getting away with it. If you point out a fascist as being hypocritical, they'll smile at you because they're like, yeah. It's like arguing with a bratty older sibling where you point out the rules are bent in their favor and they don't care. They're happy about it. You're not gonna win in an argument with them by pointing out that they're already winning. But is no one tired of it? It's also really indicative of the disconnect between the left as an institution, by which I mean the Democrats, MSNBC, whatever to whatever extent they are left, and the average Democrat voter, none of whom seem to give a shit about Charlie Kirk because he was evil. Again, my statement on this remains consistent. This is all in large part due to Merrick Garland. We have fostered an environment of un-American treasonous lawlessness. And the moment January 6th became something free of consequence, the starting gun was fired, the doors were opened, you can get away with anything now. It doesn't matter. You can be neo-Nazi public figure. You can be Stephen Miller. You can call your enemies degenerates and rats. You can talk about Jews owning the media, which Charlie Kirk did, by the way. You can do whatever the you want. It does not matter anymore. We had the chance to affirm the law and order, and we chose not to. J.B. Pritzker pointed this out. Well, good thing he's not employed by MSNBC. Elizabeth Warren on people who say Dems need to tone down their rhetoric.
Oh, please. Right. Why don't you start with the President of the United States? Right? And every ugly meme he has posted and every ugly word.
I can't believe it. Like, girl, I'm not forgiving you for the shit you did to Bernie, but like, credit where credit's due. She's the only Democrat I've seen who's like reacted with the incredulousness that that is warranted. You know, like it is absolutely insane that we should have to take seriously the idea that Democrats are the ones turning the heat up on political violence. This link should work. Okay, here's a different clip. That I mean,
Charlie Kirk's family and to
yeah, now that's working. So okay, I don't know why the other one didn't, but all right.
my sympathy to Charlie Kirk's family and to Charlie Kirk, who obviously has, you know, become a target for somebody. I don't know whether it's political violence because I don't know who did it. I know they seem to have somebody in custody. But I will say that political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this country. We saw the shootings, the killings in Minnesota. We've seen other political violence occur in other states. And I would just say it's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it. We've seen the January 6th rioters who clearly, you know, have tripped a new era of political violence.
Yeah, he's completely correct. Like, what are you supposed to say? What do you do in a country where J6 happens, no one gets in trouble, and then the next president busts out all of the old, all the people who were arrested for like attacking the Capitol building? You know, like, yeah, of course, you are openly propagating lawlessness and political violence. You are saying you prefer political violence to law. Contrary to what a lot of people might think, I have never been in favor of vigilante violence, and that's a consistent position I've had. I'm not going to shed any crocodile tears for evil pieces of shit like Charlie Kirk, but vigilante violence is like universally destabilizing. You know, I don't think any Italians are looking favorably back in like the years of lead or whatever. You know, I don't think this stuff builds better societies. It's like, you know, everyone likes to talk about revolution as an ideal, but then you look at most revolutions throughout most of history, and usually life gets a lot worse after them. You actually like it. You really need to think about what you're asking for, right? You need to like be careful what you wish for. Make sure that all the cards are lined up properly, right? Do you want vigilante violence, or do you just fantasize about a situation where all the people you dislike aren't there anymore? Because reality doesn't work that way, right? The world is not a better place today than it was yesterday. Like Charlie Kirk's evil and so on, but the world is now objectively a scarier and more unstable place now than it was, well, I guess 2 days ago. But of course, right-wingers don't want you to point this out. Right-wingers want you to take the blame for the increase in political violence because they want to get away scot-free while they commit more of it, you know? Like, they're pro-political violence, but they just want you to take the blame for it. J.B. Pritzker just blamed Charlie Kirk being shot in Utah on President Trump in January 6th. That's not what he did, but, you know, again, unbelievable. They don't actually have a retort, of course. Do you think the bourgeoisie will voluntarily give up control? Please don't bring your 17-year-old and or college freshman sophomoric aphorisms to chat, okay? Trust me, I've lapped these conversations more times than you've had them in your head. It's the world is so much more complicated than you think it is. And basically, like the problem is that I see a road forward, but I see that the road is like thorny and full of danger, and you just see like a straight line A to B. You know that the goal is somewhere in yay direction, and you think because you can't see the path, you can't see the traps, you can't see the thickets and the bramble and the twists in the road. You think that, like, well, the goal is over there, so just A to B. The shortest distance between 2 points in space is a straight line between them. But I see the fucking road, okay? So you get confused when you see me veer or like jump or go slow for a bit. You think that I'm like diverting from the path. You don't understand.